It's exactly 19 minutes after 8. I will introduce to you my guest who is seated now. Honorable Patrick Yabuama is MP for Okankwe Central Constituency here in the Greater Accra region. He sits on the Foreign Affairs Committee and Judiciary Committees in Parliament. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you and your cherished viewers.
I wanted us to start with this news that came this morning, but perhaps we can start with what your flag bearer has been saying about the constitutional breach that the president may or may not have. I don't know where you stand on this because you're also a lawyer, in admitting the two Gitmo detainees former detainees into our country. You know, there's been an official response from government. Perhaps I'll read a bit of that for you, and then we will continue. Okay, so this is government response to Nana Akufo-Addo's claims on ex-Guantanamo Bay detainees. Government has taken note of comments made by the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party to the effect that provisions in Ghana's Anti-Terrorism Act were violated by accepting to host two ex-detainees of the Guantanamo Bay camp in Cuba. In making this claim, Mr. Akufo-Addo made reference to Section 35 of the Anti-Terrorism Act, which states that, quotes, the Director of Immigration or an officer authorized by the Director shall not grant an endorsement or authority to permit a person to enter this country if there are reasonable grounds to suspect that the person is or will or has been involved in the commission of a terrorist act. For the avoidance of doubts, government wishes to place on record that at all times it has acted strictly with the law. Any claims, therefore, by Mr. Akufo-Addo and his assigns to the contrary are false and a complete misrepresentation of the Anti-Terrorism Act, which is Act 762. It goes on to quote what Act 762 says, and perhaps I can just read the ending of it. We find it's incongruous that a man about whom damning claims have been made and allegedly leaked confidential diplomatic cables would today be vacuously pronouncing judgment on others on the basis of similar document. If Mr. Akufo-Addo is held to the same standard per the claims against him in multiple leaked diplomatic cables for the determination of his suitability to contest for the highest office of the land, he would be found unworthy. Government wishes to seize this opportunity to reiterate its earlier assurance that adequate measures have been taken to ensure the peace and security of Ghanaians, even as the two individuals remain in Ghana for 2 years. Signed, Edward K. Omanibuama, Communications Minister. This is in response to what your flag bearer, the leader of the opposition party, has said. What would you say?
Thank you very much. This is not what my flag bearer is saying. This is a statement from government, signed by the Minister for...
And it's in response
yes,
to what your flag bearer has said.
So this is a government statement, not the statement from Nana Akufo-Addo. The President of Ghana, President Mahama, whom we all respect as our leader, the President of this country, swore to uphold the Constitution of this country in accordance with Article 77 of the Constitution, which talks about the laws of Ghana. Acts passed by Parliament are or forms part of the laws of Ghana, for which the President must uphold. We have institutions of state established by the Constitution and also by acts of Parliament, which the President has to respect. There are provisions in the Anti-Terrorism Act. Issues regarding government's decision to bring into this country these two Guantanamo detainees has brought about a big public debate, and various issues have been raised. Various statements have been issued, and the last of which was the one which came from the flag bearer of my party, Nana Akufo-Addo. stating his position and his views on it. The president and the government, let me come back to this. One, there are so many inconsistent statements from government. The president has said one thing, the foreign minister has said another thing, the interior minister has lost his job as an interior minister because of a statement that he's made.
Are you linking?
Yes, because all these issues are linked to the Guantanamo detainees who are in this country because of a decision which, for me, I believe was taken by the president. I don't believe it was a decision that was taken by the National Security Council, for which the foreign minister and the interior minister are part of by our constitution. Two, from the comments of the foreign minister and the interior minister, those decisions were not even taken at cabinet.
They haven't explicitly said that.
But you can deduce, because they are cabinet members and they are members of the National Security Council. So if they are saying that they were not privy to, it means one, they did not attend cabinet meetings, or they did not attend the National Security Council meeting during which those decisions were taken.
They said they are not, in some instances, privy to some aspects of the communication.
These are decisions which ought to have been taken by cabinet or the National Security Council. From what I'm reading or hearing, and from the evidence that I have, it was a decision taken by the president. Going forward, the statement that came from the government is saying that the flag bearer of the MPP did not state any reasonable grounds for which an immigration officer should have denied entry into this country of this detainee. I beg to differ. One, these detainees and all those detainees that the president mentioned that they've been sent to Cape Verde and other countries were kept in a camp. Did they undergo any trials? Were they convicted? Were they given the rights under international law and international humanitarian law or international human rights law? One, we have a whole chapter in our Constitution on human rights. And also, within our criminal jurisprudence, that a person is innocent until proven guilty. Were they tried? Why are they here? Have their rights been trampled upon in another jurisdiction?
Hasn't the president and members of his government answered all these questions that you're asking today?
They haven't. This is a matter of law. And this is a matter within the constitutional and human rights ambits of our law, for which I believe that the government has not been forthright with the truth. Government is saying that they are going to host these detainees for 2 years. You hear the consular officer from the U.S. Embassy saying that it's a shared responsibility of government. The president is saying that government is not going to bear any cost. Who are we to believe? Two, the government statement is saying that Nana Akufo-Addo has been mentioned in a lot of diplomatic leakages or cables. If they have any evidence to implicate him or to take him on, they should go ahead and do it. It should not come within the statement, because the person, Nana Akufo-Addo, is seeking to become president of this country. So if the president and the government believes that he has something in his cupboard for which he cannot be president, they are in charge of the security of this country. They should take him on.
Okay. On that note, we have to pause here. And when we come back, Mr. Abraham Amaliba is a legal practitioner. He's also a member of the NDC. He joins the conversation. Stay with us. So we have two lawyers on set now. Mr. Abraham Amaliba joins the conversation. Good morning to you.
Good
Thanks
morning.
for coming.
And let me apologize for coming in late.
Next time you pay.
I will.
So we're talking about the statement that's been issued by government in response to statements made by Nana Akufo-Addo on these two Gitmo former detainees who are in our country.
Yeah.
I'm sure you are abreast with the statement that has come out signed by Dr. Omani Boama, the Communications Minister.
Yes, but even beyond that, I also think that Nana Addo got it wrong legally because he cited the Terrorist Act and quoted a section of that act. That act was simply talking about the Director of Immigration, and you cannot extend it to the President. If the act wanted to talk about the President, the act will say it. The act went further in another section, a subsection talking about the Minister. So I didn't see how Nana Akufo-Addo could tie in the President into this matter. And so I thought that he got it wrong.
I mean, who's the head of the executive? If you're talking ministers, you're talking executives.
No, in that case, then the President should be responsible for the failure of the meteorological department to be able to predict correctly that rain will fall. Simple. There's an act, there's a law. If the law intended to talk about the President, the law will say the President. But in this case, the law says the Director of Immigrations. For Nana Akufo-Addo to then say that the President has breached that act when that law was not talking about the President.
But did the Director of Immigrations even know about this?
These are national security matters, and
haven't we heard that enough? And that's why we still have a lot of questions. Because if you find the Minister of Foreign Affairs and the Interior Minister, I don't know if he's still Interior Minister, said that they were not privy to some aspect of the conversation and that national security would be in a better position to brief all of us. I mean, then where are we?
Take Hannah's point. Hannah's point was, it was situated within the context of a question. How is the surveillance going to be made? And she said that no, as for the surveillance and the monitoring, it's a national security issue. On that issue, I was not briefed. I was not part of it. Take Makoyongo. He was out of the country at the time. And so he was not briefed. It's true. But when he returned, his deputy said that, well, I was at the meeting, but I briefed you. So he was not part of the meeting because he had gone out and he was in South Africa. His deputy stood in for him. And so he was not also in the meeting.
Is that why has his comment lost him his job?
No. It's about he has health issues, and even when he went to the South Africa, it was about his health issues. He's always now and then going
So did he opt out?
Opt out in the sense that he asked that he should be
taken off as Interior Minister.
No. But I am of the view that it will be a discussion between the two, the appointing authority and he himself.
But he's still a member of Parliament.
Oh, yes.
And a Minister of State.
So
yeah,
if
but the job of an Interior Minister
should have been appointed a Minister of State.
The job, you don't appoint, so you
so if the Minister has health issues,
his health is an issue, and I think that is why he decided that he wanted the workload to reduce, and that's how come he was.
He's going to the
Flagstaff
House.
Yes, that place is a bit flexible.
Really?
Yeah.
So is he really needed there, or is just some job for him?
He will be needed there. Don't forget that he's a journalist. He's a trained communicator, and don't forget that he was once with the information services, even in our embassy outside the U.S. And so he has some role to play there. I think they will effectively use him. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about labor issues for now. Perhaps just before we get onto that, maybe your quick comments on this other subject of some judges who've been asked to completely go home. Let me start reading a bit of that for you. Justice of the High Court, His Lordship Justice Ringo Kas Akorugu Azuma, has been dismissed by the judiciary for repeatedly absenting himself at the courts. In a statement signed by the Judicial Secretary, Justice Alex Pokwe-Champong, on Tuesday, to announce the removal of the two High Court judges, Justice John Ajet Nassam and Justice Ernest Obimpeh. It also announced that President Mahama has directed the removal of His Lordship Justice Ringo Kas Akorugu Azuma from office as the Justice of the High Court on grounds of stated misbehavior and incompetence. In his case, the statement says several complaints of absenteeism were filed against the judge by users of the court and a leading legal firm. You are lawyers, you go to court all the time. This action, is it in the right sense? There are so many other judges who absent themselves, don't they?
I think so, but if there's no petition, you cannot remove a judge like that. Their tenure of office is guaranteed, unless you would have to remove them through the procedure as prescribed by the Constitution. So clearly, there are people who you say they are also absenting themselves, but their conduct has not been brought to scrutiny. If you know any of such judges, when you put in a petition, I'm sure they will look at it. So there are two issues here. With the Ajet case, I'm sure it was triggered off by the Anas exposure. But this other man, Akurugo, I'm sure he's my countryman, I'm sure, but I don't know him. He was on a different...
Absenteeism.
Absenteeism and incompetence. So you don't lump the two together. For him, the question as to whether criminal proceedings can be brought against him is nil, it's absent there. But there are those who are saying that, look, let's go the full haul in the case of Ajet and Co. That it is not enough just ending at the administrative level where they were dismissed. Let's go to the next level, because what they engage in is offensive, it's against the Criminal Offences Act. And so people are saying that let us see some prosecutions as against them. But that is left to the Attorney General, and the Attorney General will decide whether or not to prosecute them. Okay. But I think that it is in line with the Constitution that when the recommendations come, the President would have to implement the recommendation.
Honorable Obama, what do you think?
Excuse me. I think Amaliba has put a law clear. Per Article 146, the President has complied with the procedure set out under the Constitution. And I believe with the case of Justice Azuma, it borders on absenteeism and incompetence. And I don't want to believe that the President will want to have an incompetent judge when a recommendation and a report has been submitted to him. With Ajet and Co., I believe it came out as a result of the Anas issue.
And I'll have to apologize for what I'm about to do. The labor demonstration is ongoing and the police is speaking to us, so we want to just quickly take it and then we will come back and continue this discussion.
And we can assure you that with arranging people in the city to relax and go about their activities in a normal way, and those who also involved in the demonstration
Right, obviously, we don't have a clear connection on that, so we'll bring you that package later. Honorable Bwama, apologies.
So I don't have a problem with what the President has done. A recommendation was sent to him from the Judicial Service, Judicial Council, and he's acted on it. And
is that enough? Should we be prosecuting like Mr. Balba is saying others are calling for?
The law requires the Attorney General to take that action, and it's implied that with the exception of Justice Azuma, Ajet and Justice what's the name? Obimpeh. The AG must take the files and take the necessary steps as required by law.
All right, let's talk about, are you joining the demonstration? I'm sure Mr. Amalba will say no. Honorable Obama, are you joining the demonstration?
I'm with them. I'm solidarizing with them. Labor has suffered so much in this country, and government has paid a lot of lip service to labor. Government cannot increase tariffs and expect labor to live in the country and boost productivity. So I believe in the 2015 State of the Nation address, the President said that they've had a good rapport, good discussions with the tripartite committee, and they were able to announce the increase in their wages, minimum wage. It was done in a harmonious situation. But where are we? Doctors, nurses, teachers, what? Then you slap labor with 59% water,
over
60 electricity, fuel price hikes, and you are not minding labor.
And may I announce that I think in the U.S. today, crude oil is below $28.
Yes, my government will tell you that in line with their economic policies, they don't think as a net importer. That is what Ghanaians must know. We are not a net exporter of crude. We are a net importer. So that if the prices of crude goes down, we, the citizens, must benefit from the reduction in price.
Okay.
But where are we?
Sure, where are we? We're going back to the demonstration grounds right now. Hopefully we can pick a few voices.
Over the years, we realized that demonstrations hardly yield any results. You think this one will be successful?
Yes, that is why we have outlined a number of activities. When you look at the roadmap that we circulated, this is the first. We are starting with a demonstration. The actions, the dates may change, but the actions are not going to change. We have strike actions in our belt waiting and all other actions. So we are gearing up with this demonstration. As a
about compassion here. Now you have patients in the hospitals, but your nurses are on the streets. They may die. What do you think?
Yes, our nurses are here. We are demonstrating. But as compassionate as we are, we haven't left our patients. There are nurses and midwives on the ward taking care of our patients. We have left staff there to take care of them, and we are also here. These are the nurses here. Unity! Unity!
Let me talk to this man as well. You're also on the street demonstrating against the tariff hike. You think this will be successful?
Yeah. Looking at the situation now, you buy credit of about 30 cedis. Within 2 days, it is gone. How can we survive, my brother? How can we survive? The salary is static, but the tariffs are going up. We have children to take care of. We have to take care of our patients, but we also have children to take care of. Our future and our children's future. How can we continue like this? It is really, really killing. We are pleading with the government that the tariffs should go down.
All right. You have this on your paper, which is a sort of placard for you, and they are saying President Mahama should be compassionate about it. But what sort of compassion are you looking for?
Oh, he should be compassionate to us. He should have pity on us that our salaries are not up to what he expects us to pay. If he wants us to pay more, he should then increase our salaries for us. Then we pay realistic taxes for him.
Would you want to share with me how much you earn now and how much you want to earn?
I don't mind sharing.
Okay, tell me.
I earn about below 2,000 cedis.
Below 2,000. 100 cedis is below 2,000.
Yes.
But you're not earning 100 cedis.
1,000 and 2,000 cedis.
Okay, so you want him to increase it to how much?
I can't say how much now, but then it should be realistic that when I'm paying for fuel, when I'm paying for electricity or water, I wouldn't feel the pinch. That's all we are asking for.
All right, thank you very much. So I've been speaking to some of the demonstrators here. They tell me what they expect at the end of the day. They know, they tell me this is their first action. Other actions will follow. We've also spoken to the police who are also telling us that they are ready to combat any form of mess-up that may occur along the road here. Starting from Obra Sport here, they'll use the main circle Accra Road through TUC and then to the Black Star Square.
That's my colleague Derek Sam with that live update from the Obra Sport where the demonstrators are set. That's where they are beginning. Mr. Malaba,
yes.
How effective will today's demonstration be? This is happening across the country.
The leadership of organized labor have warned politicians to stay away. Didn't you hear that?
Yeah,
so
but
if no, they've said that this is not.
They've said that, but
yeah,
what
so
it means is you
away.
can't go wearing your political T-shirt. But if you're a politician and you also feel the heat,
yeah, but no political party should hijack the process. So I'm just wondering, MPP
nobody has
always
hijacked
want to ride on these things.
No,
some of these things.
Nobody has hijacked.
Now, you see, the prices, the increment is important to offset the imbalance in the system. You know, yes, I agree that we are a net importer, but we also have budgeted our revenue to include petroleum revenue. Now, this is slammed down. It has created a big hole in our budget. How do we go about it? We need to cover that. We are the natural allies of labor. Between the MPP and the NDC, as a Social Democrat party, we are we lean towards
But you
labor.
just said we should leave politics out of
You are
this.
rather killing labor.
No, we are natural allies of labor, and we will not do anything so as to disturb the peace of labor. But we've gotten to a point that we cannot allow this country to run aground. See, some of the increment is meant to offset the debts that these utility services have over the years, the legacy debts. If we do nothing about the legacy debts, clearly this utility services, Gridco, VRA, and the ECG, will crumble. The president explained that their budget, their bank books, their accounts, cannot make them go for loans. VRA goes to a bank, they say, we will not give you. So we need to help them to clean the debts. But I think that, as at yesterday, I heard the Minister for Labour make the point that they've asked PURC to look at how to review the prices and to see how, if they review the prices downwards, it will not hurt our revenues. So there's some talking going on, and I'm sure they will reach an agreement. This is just to let government know that they mean business. What they are doing today is to shake government up. But government is also responsible. Government has asked PRC to look at reviewing the prices, and I'm sure at the end of the day, they will meet.
Don't forget there was a meeting before this action. There was a meeting at the Flagstaff House, and government had agreed to do a 54%, and they were going for 50%.
And I'm saying that just yesterday, the Minister of Labour referred the matter to PRC to see how they can review some of the prices, which would come down. You see, Labour is not against the taxes. They are talking about the quantum. They agree that there should be taxes. They agree, you know that.
The petroleum.
They agree that you should tax.
No, they agree. Let me tell you the point of view from how I understand this. We're dealing with the utilities. And then suddenly you bring petroleum. I mean, what kind of government does that? That's what they are saying.
With the utilities, they are saying 50%. That's what they are saying. With the petrol, they are saying that today they will sit with government for government to explain to them.
Because initially that was not even part of the conversation.
Talking will do. So they are going to sit with Labour government to explain to them.
Finally on this, what is government ready to do?
Government is ready, one, to look at reviewing the price downwards. That's
to what level?
That is left to PRC so that they will determine the level. With the increase in petroleum products, they are talking to Labour to let them understand why that increment has to be made.
Is that the same understanding that you have?
Labour is saying that government must withdraw that energy
the
levy. Two, also reduce the hikes in tariffs. This is a clear case of Medofwa Dadame. Because if you claim to be a social democratic party, you claim to be friends with Labour, and everything you do is at variance with what will keep Labour afloat, that means you are paying lip service to Labour. You have a Minister of Labour Relations always fighting with Labour. Today is utility.
Haruna doesn't fight.
I'm not fighting, fighting, but trying to put government in a good shape with Labour. He's doing his best, but I'm telling you, government has been a big disappointment to Labour. They've always given you the support, but whatever you've given back to them is not the best. That is why they are baring their teeth at you today. I believe President Mahama has got to review the hikes, has got to give Labour what is due them to ensure that productivity goes up and ensure that this economy gets back on its track. If government wants to privatize ECG and VRA and all those companies that government believes their books are not healthy, they must be bold to do that, because government has been bold to list some of its stake in companies or entities that they hold shares. So what is happening? if they believe that VRA is not lucrative, they must privatize it. If they believe that ECG is not doing well, government has got to take the bold decision. And this issue of let's pass the cost on to the poor citizen, the already poor Ghanaian, it's not fair. It's not fair, Mr. Maliba.
I'm wondering what we are going back to the table to sit and discuss. They've already said 50.
Yes.
And you've said 54. So what's there to discuss?
Yes.
And clearly, by them going out today in their numbers, it means that they don't agree to the 54.
No, but
so it's either you're ready to do 50.
Are you oblivious of the fact that some discussions are still going on? You know that some discussions are still going, even though this is happening. There's nothing wrong with...
But the fact that this is happening is such a big deal.
Oh, yes, we know, because clearly, if for nothing at all, these people are supposed to be at work, and by now they are on the streets. We know that will affect productivity. So, yes, we agree to that. But this would be resolved by not the strikes, but it will be resolved by the talking that is continuous, which is going to happen even as they are demonstrating. Talks will continue to go on. And I think that this government will come to... But you see, we have gone full cycle on petroleum products. They should not be pontificating to us. You see?
When you say we've gone full cycle?
Yes, this debate about which government increases petrol, they have had their fair share of deceiving the people.
But he hasn't brought that, up.
No, he talks about Medofo Dadami. Who has Dadam the people of this country than Kufuor when he raised a gallon, and when he came up, he shot it by 90%. We've come full cycle. So as two governments that have witnessed this type of situation, let's have our discussions devoid of attacks on each other. We know that taxes in this country is what sustains the country. But if you tax people to a certain level, you may have to cushion them. These are the discussions that are going on. The discussion also includes reviewing the prices downwards. So we are talking. It is not lost. They are on the streets, but the discussions are going on. And I'm saying that, Mama V, the government will come to an amicable settlement with Labour.
By
what?
By timelines.
I'm not part of the team. I'm not part of the team.
JUSAC is joining this demonstration.
Who are JUSAC?
They are the judiciary workers.
Judicial service.
Oh, they are organized. They are part of the organized labor. Not the judges, not the judges. But I'm bringing not the judges, but courts will definitely be affected. Do you have any cases in court today? Yeah, from here I'm going.
Because if they are workers, accept the security in the statement that was issued on Monday, I think. Security will be there. But the people who are going to be doing the work in the courts, don't expect to see them.
Okay, so you are hinting me. I'll go and see what is happening.
It means the whole administration of justice will be brought to
I'll go and see what is happening. I'm on my way from here.
Maliba has taken his fees and he's going to court, and the poor client will suffer. So these are some of the issues we are talking about.
I will refund his money to you.
You won't do it. He's paid you already.
I'm a fair-minded person. I'll refund it.
Well, we have to leave our conversation here, but I'm grateful that you could make it today. Honorable Patrick Boama, thank you so much.
Anytime. Have a good day.
Oh, I will record the anytime. Ms. Amanba, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, sure. And thank you for your company here on the AM Talk.
This is part of his constituency.
No, my Stesano, Fadama, Beka, Nyamiche.
I've seen his
I would visit your constituency proper and see the work that you're doing on the ground.
Do. You're welcome.
I have to tell my candidate to also make his posters available.
All right, thank you so much for talk. Stay with us. You're still watching the AM show.